All right, welcome back to another video of the Target Individual Program, Target Individual Experience. So, what I'm going to show you guys here is how they um, like to or try to use now the um, psychiatric institutions, right? Whenever I expose them in a way in which I have evidence, like the video I posted earlier. Okay, if I had not posted the video earlier, I would not have been getting this message. Okay, so every time I get a message like this is from a facility that I had called when I was looking for a new therapist. Right, when I called, I think I spoke to two therapists that was there, potential therapists, and they told me that we were not a good match because again, I'm not religious, and apparently, these therapists, black women, I would assume, right? Uh, because again, when it comes to uh, black people, particularly religious, the highly religious ones, they cannot separate their religion from their profession, right? So, hence the reason why we're not a good fit, okay? And hence the reason why I also don't want any therapist that is religious, okay? Because they cannot separate the two. Um, Anyway, so like I said, whenever I post the videos, I posted a video earlier in which I had just woken up, right? Again, wasn't out of bed. My alarm went off. I turned it off. As soon as that happened, my upstairs neighbor, they started with the noise campaign, knocking on the floor above me, dropping coins, moving furniture around. And so, and then the police sirens were going off outside also, right? And this was at the same time this was happening because again trying to intimidate me into not recording or to not going upstairs and you know confront them, which I've done a couple of times before. I don't do it anymore because it doesn't make any sense, right? They're still going to continue to do it. So anyway, so because I recorded the video and you can clearly hear, if you turn up the volume, you can clearly hear a knock and then you hear two other knocks. That's my upstairs neighbor, right? Knocking. Particularly since I was also listening to audiobook, which is called uh, uh, um, was it Love, Trauma, and Brainwashing? Okay, it's a book that talks about cults. This person, she was in a cult, and you know, explaining what it was like in a cult and talking about different types of destructive cults. Right. So anyhow, so as soon as I upload that video, okay, within the space of a few minutes, all of a sudden, I get a text message. And I'm going to show you guys, right, how that when these things happen, like whenever I expose them in a way in which you can clearly tell I'm being targeted, right? Some people may say, oh, it's just a knock, what have you. This is what I experience when they're engaged in heavy uh, targeting, particularly when I'm in my bedroom, particularly late at night when I'm sleeping with my upstairs neighbor. Even last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, moving furnitures around, dropping stuff on the floor above me, and sometimes it's really, really loud, right? So it kind of gives you like try to give you like a jump scare. This is what they would do. Okay, so you'll see this was today, right? This is now a few minutes after I uploaded that video. Okay, the last time they contacted me was February 1st. Okay, again, this was after I uploaded a video that clearly shows my targeting, right? Then before that, you'll see October 2022, again, which is another time that I uploaded a video in which I was being severely targeted and was able to record those targeting. And then September 28th, okay? Now, I had contacted this facility years ago. So you're not going to see any other messages before that, okay? Because I guess they felt that they tried to uh, discredit me, okay, in past videos, right? But I guess they realized that you know I'm getting good at explaining what it is that they're doing, also recording it. So this is what they will do, right? They'll always go back to either using psychiatry, then they'll try to, you know, take away the psychiatric labeling, right? When it suits them, also when it benefits them in order to discredit, and particularly today of all days when I recorded what I recorded. Then on top of that, another TI sent me an article from The Guardian about the Pentagon, about the one of the members in Congress were asking for an additional $36 million for Havana syndrome study or something like that, or a medical for the medical care of these agents who were severely injured, right? Now, didn't they just deny it? Didn't they had just denied it? But if it wasn't for the brave journalists who, through the Freedom of Information Act, got the classified uh, document that was again heavily redacted. Right, so now all of a sudden they're admitting it. Right, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not in the environment anymore. Right, this is actually, and no, this is the I believe it's the United States targeting their own diplomats in order to cause, uh, um, an international uh, um, conflict. Okay, and it's funny too because I was watching. There's a series on Amazon, Jack Ryan, and season four they talk about there were season four is about you have these ex-Russian military people who were trying to stage a coup in Russia, and so they were doing things outside of doing their own thing, right? They try to make it look like like for example they had created a nuclear warhead. They wanted to detonate it in Kev. I think it's Kev. Is it Kev? Are you no not or is it Czech? I think is the Czech Republic, what have you. But anyhow, so they detonate this warhead, and they basically create it to where it matches like the signal of a U.S. Manufactured nuclear warhead, small arm nuclear warhead, and they try to detonate and blame the U.S. and whatever, all to stage a coup and start a war. But this is what happened here in Western countries, right? They, particularly in the United States, where the military industrial conflicts are constantly causing conflict in order for the U.S. to invade other countries. And even if it means, uh, um, the losing lives in terms of collateral damage, which was what 9/11 was, because many people don't know that the CIA had information that they were going to be attacking. There was going to be an attack on U.S. soil. They knew this a whole 6 months prior, and they did nothing. They did nothing. Okay. So many people think like 9/11 was some sort of, you know, uh, stage, not stage, but some sort of the incident that happened with the plane flight. That stuff was staged because, again, it also was the greatest robbery in U.S. history because all the gold underneath that World Trade Center disappeared. Nobody talks about that, right? Nobody talks about the $5 or $6 billion that was left on the plane in Iraq that all of a sudden vanished. Nobody talks about that, right? And again, I'm not making this up. You can go look it up. Okay, so yeah. So again, whenever I expose them in a way, they will do these things again to discredit, to disrupt. FBI went into poor practice. With some Zertzazum, right, to cover up their illegal experimentation, the illegal microchipping, and the use of these radio and microwave frequency weapons. Okay, I'll talk to you guys in this next video.